fact that they opt out for imported. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Autogig TV. My name is Olainwaju Adeshokon. Welcome to another exciting episode of 60 Minutes with the Professionals. Today, we are going to be talking about the Nigerian automotive industry, and I'm also in the studio with Chokwe Bukola Ojo. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, viewers.
How's been your week, sir?
Great.
All right, we'll be discussing the Nigerian automotive industry today. You can also join us on all our social media platforms, which is www.facebook.com/autogigng. On Instagram is at autogigng. On Twitter is at autogig. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Autogig TV. All right, today, sir, we, like I already said before, we are going to be discussing about the Nigerian automotive industry.
Okay.
To you, what does the Nigerian automotive industry mean, and how do you see it?
Wow. Well, I see the Nigerian automotive industry like a young man, a fully able-bodied young man that still working like a 5-year-old boy, because the industry is full of opportunities, full of a lot of strength that can actually transform the economy of this country. If you look at the National Industrial Revolution Plan, at the heart of it is the Nigerian automotive policy. And, every developed economy, at the heart of it, you see a very vibrant automotive industry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, Nigeria automotive industry is still very far from be. We live like a typical consumer as far as our industry is concerned in Nigeria. So we are not really playing in it at the moment.
All right, thank you very much, sir. The Nigerian automotive industry is looking at producing 4 million cars annually by 2050. How possible is this?
Well, it's very possible, but like I said the other time, we are still very far from where we're supposed to be. It can be on the paper at the moment, but we have to be deliberate about what we want to do. If you're not deliberate about it, then it's not going to happen. I've been following the Nigeria automotive policy since 2012, and for the first few years, it was followed with the timeline, and we were making progress. But ordinarily, all the assembly plants we have in Nigeria now are supposed to have shifted to completely knocked down assembly plant from a semi-knockdown since 2017 until now. They are still doing semi-knockdown. This when you are skipping your timeline, where you are not hitting your milestone at the appropriate time, then it's going to tell on your endpoint. Understand? So 4 million cars in 2050, fine, good, it is possible, but we have to be deliberate about it.
Keyword deliberate.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we also looking at producing autonomous or electric vehicles, or what do we expect?
Yeah, that's another thing we need to talk about, because in the industry, most of the plans we are following up with our plans were developed long time ago. I think that there should be an improvement based on what is happening globally. If you look at most European countries, by 2030, most roads in Europe will have autonomous and electric vehicles. Some automobile companies that more than 50% of the vehicles they will be producing, some up to 80% of the vehicles they will be producing are going to be either hybrid or fully electric vehicles. Yeah. So, and that tells a lot about what will be happening. We also need to understand that as it is now, how many local manufacturers do we have in Nigeria? Yeah. Probably maybe talk about just one or two.
Strong one.
Yes. But the other ones are still European and American manufacturers that have come to, probably maybe through their partnership with their representatives over here, set up an assembly plant, and the kind of vehicle they will be producing are the same vehicles that the manufacturers are producing from their home countries. So, yeah, we'll be producing autonomous vehicles, electric vehicles. Autonomous, well, that's still that would be dependent on a lot of infrastructures. We know with our kind of road,
Roads.
you can't do driverless cars with our kind of the road and the kind of vehicles we have on the road at the moment. So we should understand that yes, there will be capacity for those assembly plants to be able to do autonomous and electric vehicles. The question is, will our uh, uh, infrastructures be ready to accommodate it as at that time? And at the same time, we also need to understand that we are not patenting anything in Nigeria. We are late to the game as far as the industry is concerned. So
What you're trying to say is like quite backwards.
exactly. But you know, we can still start now. You understand? We can still everything has to do with being deliberate about.
Okay, so I'll pick it up from the electric cars. Do you think Nigerian power system can accommodate electric cars for now?
Yeah, that is part of the things I talked about. There are different solutions for different countries depending on the kind of problem they have. So we have to look at our industry and see um, our economy and see how we can adapt. For instance, now we Autogig just partnered with a department in Ladoke Akintola University of Technology that's have been working on an electric mobility. And I think the previous project they did was running on batteries. You understand? So now they want to have a combination of solar-driven and solar-powered vehicles. You understand? Which is a kind of EV, an electric vehicle. So we are hoping that we will be able to come up with something very fantastic. You understand? In that area. So
Okay, looking at the plans that the automotive industry have, like producing 4 million cars um, annually by 2050, do you think Nigerian automotive industry is ripe to produce their own or manufacture their own cars? Do you think we're ripe for it?
well, as an entrepreneur, what I look at in a market is that do we have do we have the market for it? When there is a market, then it's just for you to prepare to meet the market. You understand? Nigeria is actually the highest consumer of automotive products in the whole Africa so today because of our population. So we should understand that the market is there. Then if we are really serious about what we are doing, yeah, we can actually get there.
Okay. By saying that, is it possible to get people subscribed to this, like buy these vehicles, considering the fact that they opt out for imported vehicles?
Yes, that's where the competition comes in. If we have local manufacturers has to convince us that the vehicles they are manufacturing, they can compete very well with what we are importing. And at the same time, we should also understand that people appetite are, already acclimatized to vehicles coming from Europe and America. And you should also try and be patriotic buying made in Nigeria. You understand? That is the best way we can grow this area.
Okay, if we are going to say we need to start buying made in Nigerian products, starting from our automotive industry, how do they convince me that this vehicle that I'm buying won't just pack up in the next 2 3 months, unlike the imported ones?
Well, sincerely, I've been driving around. I've been seeing a lot of innocent vehicles around. I've not seen anyone parked up on the road. You understand?
Why I'm saying that is because
Actually,
the fear of
yeah, but
using
see,
Nigerian
and
products.
that's what we should also look at. For the military to be using their products is also says a lot about the durability of what they are producing, and we should try and have some trust in what we are producing over here also. So in light of that, I would just encourage people, even the vehicles are assembled locally here. And I was talking about the semi knockdown and completely knockdown uh, automobile assembly the other time. I- If you do a semi knockdown, that means almost all the spare parts on the vehicles are imported, but they are imported in pieces. You just assemble them back when they get here. The completely knockdown means that, okay, an average vehicle has a total of about 2,000 spare parts on it. The manufacturer manufactures about just 30%. The remaining 70% goes to the component suppliers. And so when you look at this value chain and you see that by the time we move to completely lockdown, 70% of the spare parts on the vehicle has to be manufactured locally. That tells you that people that makes adhesives, people that makes bolts, and there are so many things that can be done in that industry.
Very well said. Very well said. So, looking at the rate of unemployment in Nigeria at the moment, what are the opportunities in the automotive industry for people? For people actually, what are the opportunities?
Well, the opportunity is so enormous. I spoke the other time about uh, how automotive industry is at the heart of every developed economy in the world. You understand? So if you look at it very well, in an assembly plant, a job in an assembly plant creates three other jobs in the component supply. And each of those three jobs in component supply produces another seven jobs in the raw material supply. Now we are not talking about sales and marketing. We are not talking about the after sales, the people that maintains the vehicles and all that. So it tells you the capacity. The industry actually has a capacity to to take care of about 10% of the employment needs in Nigeria at the GDP.
Okay, so for people trying to change career line into the automotive industry, um, is it possible for them to switch their career line, and is the industry also willing to accommodate them